everybody. So this is my first online Pilates lesson or class just for you guys. So in Pilates we need to remember that we're using smaller moves, not great big moves, so not big stretches, but small moves, small controlled moves, and we want to be fluid within the exercises that we do. So first of all, first thing we need to think about is this is about using your core. It's really important that we remember our core, and all the way through I'll keep telling you to pull your tummy button in towards your spine, because that's what we need to do to strengthen our core. So first thing we need to do is have your toes pointing forward and your heels pointing back. Okay, so and our feet flat on the floor. We also want to feel our big toe, our little toe and our heel firmly planted on the mat. If you don't have a mat for Pilates or yoga, it's fine, just use carpet or use a towel. A bath towel is a good one because that's a good size for you, and I'll explain that later on, but not a huge bath sheet, just a bath towel, because you want sort of that width and sort of 6 foot length or 5 foot length or something. So I'm going to rock backwards and forwards a little bit, and if you can do this with me, then you'll make sure that you are standing correctly. So I now feel that my big toe, my little toe and my heel are firmly implanted on the mat, and I'm going to soften my knees a little bit. And now what I want to do is get into what we call neutral position. So I'm going to turn around for this to show you what neutral is. You need to rock back and forward, okay, a little bit, and then get somewhere in the middle. So not back with your bottom pointing out or forwards with your hips pointing out, but somewhere in the middle. So for me, it's about there. That feels right. That means my spine is in neutral position and it's quite comfortable to stand like that. So what we're going to start off with is some roll downs. So let me just get myself back in position. Sorry about this guys, but I need to make sure I'm standing right. We're going to pull our tummy buttons in towards our spine. We're going to take our shoulders down so that our shoulder blades are going towards our back pockets. Just get out of the shadow. Okay, and then we're ready to go. And we're going to start off with our head. So just very gently, I'm going to just move my head down towards my shoulder. So your right or your left ear is pointing towards your right or left shoulder, whichever way you're going. You don't have to copy me, it's up to you. So that would be your left to left, and this would be right to right. And as I said at the very beginning, they're just slow movements, ear to shoulder, back to the middle, ear to shoulder, back to the middle, and one more each side. This is just loosening up the muscles in my neck. We get pretty tight necks, most of us nowadays, with stress. I'm now going to move my head round to look over my right shoulder, okay, and back to the middle. So again, just working on my neck muscles, and just go with me. And my left shoulder, back to the middle, and we'll do one more either side. Okay. And now we're going to work on the shoulders. So we're just going to do some shoulder rolls. So we're going to do 10 backwards, 4, 5, as I said, nice and slow, 6, keeping your tummy button pulled in towards your spine, 8, 9, 10, and then 10 forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, getting our upper back moving here as well, working, 9, 10. So we're starting to loosen our body up now, aren't we? We're going to now go into our ankles. We're going to miss the core of our body, or the main body, and we're just going to go and work our ankles a little bit. So we're just going up and down as though we're walking on the spot. This is really good if you're a runner as well, because ankles do get neglected, and if you're a runner or you walk a lot, then you spend a lot of time on your feet, and feet is something we just forget about. Feet and ankles we tend not to exercise for whatever reason. So I'm just stepping through each foot. Okay. So we've now worked our neck, our shoulders a little bit and our feet, and we're just going to do something with our arms. But before we do, I'm roasting in this conservatory, so bear with me. I'm just going to push the door open. That was not a Pilates move, but still, just check I'm back in neutral. So again, guys, make sure that you're still in neutral with your tummy button pulled in towards your spine and your shoulders down. And we're going to work our arms. So this is what I call airplane arms. You can call it what you want. So my palms are facing down, and I'm just going to move in like an airplane move. Well, wings don't actually do this, do they? But we do as kids. So we're just taking our arms forward, making sure that they're straight and in line with our shoulders, so your arms aren't up or too far down. So they literally are straight out from the shoulder and then backwards. So again, just to remind you, keep your knees soft, keep your tummy button pulled in towards your spine and your shoulder blades down while you're doing this movement. We're now going to go into a H shape, and we're going to use our own body weight. I'm sort of stiffening my fingers a little bit, so my hands, I know my hands are there, do you know what I mean? So we're just going to move up, so without weights, we're just going to do some sort of press ups in the air, using just our arms and tightening our muscles. If you can tighten your forearm muscles and your triceps and biceps in the top of your arm, you'll really start to feel this. So we're going to do another 6 of these. 1, 2, really good for your arms, this is 3, and the muscles down by the sort of side of your chest, at the top of your chest. 1 more, 1 more. And now you probably can feel that, so just move your shoulders around a little bit just to loosen up. I bet you can feel that. Well, I can certainly in the top of my arms. And now we're just going to do another little exercise. So we're just going to stretch down towards one side and then the other side. Don't push it, again, it's just small movements, and we're keeping our tummy button pulled in, aren't we? So we're just going down to the, it's my left hand side, it might be your right, and back. And as we move the one arm down, the other arm is coming up towards our waist. And this is really good for your oblique muscles. So the muscles down the side here, just give them a little stretch out. And then as one side extends, the other side flexes. So we're using both sides of our body here, exercising both sides of our body. And again, don't worry about how far you can go. If you can only go that far, it's not a problem. If you want to go a little bit further, that's completely up to you. But if you're new to Pilates, then just keep it simple and keep the movements small. 1 more each side. And then the last exercise we're going to do before we get down onto the mat, because this really is mat Pilates, invented by Joseph Pilates, if you don't know that. We're just going to do some shoulder shrugs. It's hard to say that. It's a bit like seashells. So, but it's not a shrug like that. It's a very gentle up to your ears and then down, and moving your shoulder blades down towards your bottom. So gently up and then down, shoulder blades up and then down, and 1 more, up and then down. And that should have warmed you up if the sun hasn't. So we're going to start now with our exercises by doing some roll downs. So these are very slow, and I'll talk you through it. Before you roll down, take an intake of breath, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And as you go down, if you exhale through your mouth, then you're starting to use your diaphragm as well, which is a really big muscle, and it's the one that we breathe with. And the fitter that is, the fitter you are. So again, keep making sure we're in neutral to start. Spine's okay, tummy button's pulled in, shoulder blades are down. We're going to gently roll down. So you tuck your chin into your neck slightly, not too far, just a little bit, drop it down and roll down. So all the way down. Slowly, 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 slowly. We're just going to do 3 of these, guys. And then we're going to come back up. Just come up 1 vertebrae at a time, really, really slowly. So that's 1. Go down again, deep breath in. I actually breathed in through my mouth there, but I'm just trying to sort of show you how important it is to keep the breathing with the exercise if you can. And then back up. If you struggle to think about your breathing and do the exercises, as my instructor says, just breathe. And then we're going down again, so breathe in, all the way down, slowly, 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 slowly to the floor. And then when you're down there, just grab your elbows, guys. So grab hold of your elbows while you're down there and just swing gently a little bit from side to side, and you'll start to feel this. I'm going to turn around if that makes it easier to see what I'm doing. You'll start to feel this in the back of your legs. I can feel it in my calf muscles at the back. I can feel a little bit in my hamstrings because they're stretched, but also in my lower back. So it's a really, really good stretch for you. And then when you've done that, just let your arms go down like a rag doll. And I want you to just work your wrists. So just turn your wrists in circles either way, okay? Move your fingers around. Okay, so you've got all those joints and bones just working for you, I guess, really down there. So now what I want you to do is to go just down onto your hands and knees if you can. Okay? Oops, and we're going to go into what is called child's pose. So your bottom goes towards your feet. Okay, your knees are slightly apart, probably a bit more than hip width, and your arms are stretched out in front, and your forehead is on the floor. And we're just having a really good stretch here. So really, really, really good stretch. Okay. And then we're going to come up into a sitting position. And we're going to start with some exercises now for our abdominals, our tummies. Okay. So if you're new to Pilates, keep your legs bent. If you've done quite a bit of Pilates and you want to stretch your legs out to give you more leverage, it'll work your muscles harder, then that's completely up to you. I'm going to keep mine bent for the purpose of the exercise today. And all we're doing is we're going to C-curve our back. So we're going to go down a little bit. Can you see I've got like a C-curve on my back there? Hold it for a minute. And then come back up. And sit tall. Back down. And back up. So 3, we're doing 6 of these. Keeping our tummy button pulled in. You might forget that if you can really feel you're just sort of working your tummy. You might have forgotten to pull your tummy button in. Back up. And then back down. And up, and one more. I've sort of lost count, but just go with me. Back down. And then up. Okay, and now we're going to make that a little bit harder. We're going to do what's called bow and arrow. So as you see curve back, your arm is coming back with you and you're looking over your shoulder. Okay, so whichever arm comes back, you look over that shoulder. So we're going to do 4 of these, guys. So first bow and arrow, just a reminder as well, your tummy button's pulled in, your feet are flat on the floor, okay, and we smile, because it's great fun. So back, and up, other side, and up, other side, and up, other side, and up. And we're going to do 2 more actually, because this is pretty easy. So bow and arrow back, and up, and final one, and up. So we've done some C-curves back. What we're going to do now is we're going to lie back on the floor and we're going to do a couple of leg exercises. So take yourself back all the way. I'm going to move forward. Slowly, 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 slowly. Far down that little bit. Now if you can see, again, I'm laying with my legs bent, so keep your feet flat on the floor, and we're going to lift one leg up in the air. For me, it's my right leg. And we're going to do just some little leg circles. So I want you to point your toe and turn your knee out to the side. Okay, don't have your leg low and don't have it too high like some ballet dancers and really fit, flexible people might want to. It just needs to be straight. I'm hoping mine is straight because I can't see myself. And we're just now going to do some tiny, tiny, tiny leg circles out. Don't try and do big leg circles, because what you want to do is keep the top half of your body still. So we're just doing lots of little leg circles, like a tiny O you're drawing on the ceiling. And then we're going to go the other way. Okay, still with your leg pointed, your toes pointed. If you get a cramp in your toes, guys, use your heel, flex your foot and do the leg circles with your heel instead. You're just using different muscles, but if you flex your leg when you're doing this side, obviously on the other leg, you also need to flex. So it's up to you. So that's that leg, so we put that leg down. And then we take the other leg up in the air, point our toe. Turn our knee out to the side, again being aware of the position and making sure you're in neutral spine. If you're in neutral, you shouldn't have a huge gap under your back here. If you have got a gap, then you're not in neutral spine. So, some leg circles this way. And if I'm pulling funny faces and closing my eyes and squinting, it's super bright here today, guys, so just excuse me. Don't look at my face, basically. Just watch my leg. So one way, and then we're going to go backwards. So we're doing our leg circles the other way. Okay? And now we're going to put that leg down, and we're going to go into what we call single leg stretches. So you bring one leg up, for me it's my right leg, and what we're going to do is we're going to swap legs, okay? So this leg now is going flat on the floor. We've got this leg bent. As my right leg goes out, my left leg comes up. So these are just single leg stretches, really simple to do. Okay, you should all be able to do these. And again, make sure your tummy button is pulled into your spine. You'll be saying this in your sleep tonight. So we're just going to do a few more of these. I don't know if you can see, but my right foot is starting to get cramp in my toes. So I'm just going to wiggle my toes while I'm doing my leg stretches. Okay. So those are our leg stretches. On this last one, then pull both knees in towards the chest and just circle your spine around the mat. So you get a really nice little massage on your spine here. Okay, so we're just circling it around and it feels really nice. Okay. So if you pop both legs down, we've now done our a little bit of work on our legs. We're going to do some more in a minute when we turn on our side, but before we do, we're going to do a really fun exercise which my instructor loves, and so do I actually, and it was one of Joseph Pilates' first exercises when he built his lesson, I guess. It was one of the first exercises he built into his classes, and it's called rolling like a ball. So what you do, you sort of make yourself into a little ball like this, and you are just going to literally roll up and then back up, and then back up, and on the last one more. After this we're going to balance, but try and keep your feet, I don't know if you can see, actually guys, I'm sort of balanced with my feet in the air, so that's rolling like a ball. Really, really good exercise for your back, really good back massage. Okay, so we're now going to move on to our side. Don't forget, this is a condensed version. I should have said at the beginning, this is about 30 minutes of Pilates. So a class would normally be about an hour. So you can either have your arms stretched out in front of you, or you can have your head up on your arm. I don't know how much of me you're going to see here. So I'll try and talk you through these exercises really well, or show you the pertinent part of my body that you need to watch to do the exercise. If you have your arms stretched out, you might want a pillow on your arm. Some people do, just to lift their head a tiny bit. It's completely up to you, but just be aware you're trying to stay in neutral spine. So if you can't stay in neutral with your head flat, then pop a pillow there. And also under your hips, if you suffer with your hips, or you've got bony hips because you're nice and slim, you might want a cushion under there, or a towel. Just fold a towel in two or something, 2 or 4. So I'm lying down. I'm going to have my head up here, okay, and I have my legs bent, because what I'm going to do is the clam. That's my first exercise. So I'm lifting my feet off the mat. I have my hand there to balance me. I know I'm in neutral spine because I don't actually need my hand to balance me. I'm not going one way or another. It's very easy when I started to sort of keep falling forwards, but I tend not to now. If you have your hand up on your head, make sure you have some room here, because that again works these muscles harder. So if you have your hand flat, if you're a beginner, that's absolutely fine. It's completely up to you, whatever is most comfortable. So you just go into, I have to have my hand up because the sun's killing my eyes. We're just going to open our legs and close them like a clam or an oyster. So we're going to do 4 more of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're working this, the inside of our thigh here, we're really working that. Okay. Now we're going to put both legs down. We're going to keep one bent. If you want to stretch it, that's fine, that's up to you. Doesn't really matter. But this top leg is going to be riding a bicycle. And we're going to ride it forwards and then we're going to ride the bicycle backwards. Okay, so we're just really stretching out a really big bicycle here. And I'm still aware that I'm keeping my tummy muscle pulled in. I'm breathing with the exercise if I can. So I'll explain how I'm doing that. As this comes round, I breathe in, then I take a big breath out as I'm working my leg. And if you're pointing your toe, that's great because you're working extra muscles. I'm going to do another big 2 bicycles, 1, 2, and now I have cramp in my toes, but even if you don't, I want you to flex your foot so that all the energy is coming out through your heel and you're bringing the bicycle back. I'm going to 10 of these. 3, 4, I'm really flexing. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. By 10 you can start to feel that in your thigh there. So we've worked the inside of the thigh with the clam and we've now worked this muscle here as well, the outside. Okay, and the glutes, you'll probably feel it in your glutes as well. So we're going to now stretch our legs out and we're going to do some leg lifts. So again, tummy button in, make sure you're in neutral, and we're going to lift one leg up and slowly take it down. So as I said at the very beginning, this is all about small movements and fluid movements. One movement should be flowing into the other. You shouldn't feel as though you're jumping about from one to another. So we'll do another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I can start to feel that now. Now we're going to lift both legs up at a time. So this is a little bit tougher. Okay, so both legs, 1. When you take them down, don't take them quite to the floor. Just hover them maybe an inch or so above the floor. 4, 5, 6, 7. Can you feel this is definitely tougher? 8, 9, 10. So that's that side done. We're now going to swing around onto the other side and work the other leg. Okay, so here we go. We started with the clam, so we'll bend our legs, feet off the floor, sides of the feet together, tummy button pulled in, and we're just going to open for 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do 2 more. Sorry guys. 5, 6. And now legs down and we're going to do bicycle. So again, leg bent or leg out, whichever you prefer. I just find it easy with my leg bent. So I'm going to do bicycles pointing forward. 1, 2. Here goes the old cramp again. I don't know why I get this, but I do. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, really good for the hips this, 10, and now we're flexing our foot. Can you see I've flexed my foot? I'm sending all the energy out through my heel and I can really feel this in my hamstrings and my calf muscles. So we're going to ride the bicycle backwards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's now into our leg lifts. So legs out, body exactly the same. Make sure that you're completely in a straight line like a capital letter I, but without the bit at the top and the bottom. Okay, hand just there if you need it to balance you, but don't use it to push you. It should just be balancing you. It should be your core that's keeping you in that position. Okay, not your hand. And we're going to do our leg lifts. So 1, 2, it's 10 of these I think. 3, 4. I hope you're all enjoying this gorgeous weather. We are very lucky, aren't we, to be having this in March. Mind you, it could snow next week. You never know in the UK, do you? 9, 10. And then both legs together. I'm going to move up the mat a bit so you can see both legs together. Just going to me. So can you see I have both legs together? 1, they're not going quite to the mat. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So those are our side muscles, guys. Side muscles, legs that we've used. So we're now going to move back. Okay. So sitting up, and we're going to do some C curves up. We did our roll backs, curving our spine. We're going to do some up. So if you just take yourself back onto the mat. Okay. And again, if you're new to Pilates, keep your legs bent. If you want to work harder, then extend your legs. And we're just going to come up into a slight C curve. So don't worry about how far you come up. You're not in competition with anybody else. You don't want to get all the way up. And when you bring your arms forward with this exercise, you're not touching your toes. They're just coming forward like that alongside your ears. So I'll go back and show you what we're doing. So these are our C curves up. So again, I'm just checking I'm in neutral spine, which I am. My tummy's pulled in. My hands are down at my side. Okay, and I'm going to take a deep breath in and breathe out once I'm there. That for me is far enough. Okay, so I'm not going down towards my toes, my hands are staying there. So back, it's just a very gentle, small move. C curve up, and then back, C curve up, and then back. And if you can connect your breath, keep going, then do. So I'm sort of breathing in before I come up, and really pulling, and you should be able to feel this in all of your tummy muscles, all the way down the centre of your abdomen. Back, up, and then back. And now what we're going to do is a slight twist. So we have our elbows to the back of our head, legs slightly further apart, and as we come up we're going to sort of go towards our opposite knee. So this is now my left arm up to my right knee. Now some of you are going to get up a lot further than me, and that's absolutely fine, because for one, I'm not great at this exercise, and for two, I'm talking as well. So keep going, guys, side to side. So a real twist on your spine. So we're sort of twisting there at the waist. Can you see? Top half of my body is twisting over, bottom half is staying pretty still. I'm going to do 3 more of these. 1, 2, 3. Now if you do 6 or 7 of those when you're doing these exercises on your own, you'll really start to feel this in your tummy, I can promise you, but it's a good exercise to do. So carry on, you'll still lay in this position here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do some hip openers. So we're just going to keep our knees bent, but we're going to move our legs and the bottom of our pelvis to each side. So just drop them down from side to side. So first of all, I'm going to the right. As you can see, the top half of my body should stay still. It's just this bit that's moving. Back to the middle. Over to the left. to the middle. And again, you're not in competition. If your legs go flat on the floor, then that's fine. If they only go a tiny bit like that, that is absolutely fine. You're just going from side to side with your pelvis and your legs. And then we're soon going to finish the exercises on the mat and do our cool down. One more each side. Are you pulling your tummy buttons in, guys? Good. So now what we're going to do is just open both legs. This is a really nice stretch and it's a really comfortable position. Palms facing up so that you're open to the elements and to the world and whatever's going on around you. You're not closing your body language. Just lie there for a couple of minutes, okay? And we're going to do some deep breathing. So you're using your diaphragm, which I mentioned earlier is a really big muscle in your body and the one we used to breathe with, so it's important it's strong. What we're going to do is some breathing in and out, and as you breathe in through your nose, your tummy will rise. Okay, so can you see? As you breathe out through your mouth, your tummy will fall down. So, sorry to show you all my big tummy, but I need to on this exercise. So breathe in. One more. In. And your tummy falls. And then if you take one leg flat out as long as it can go, okay, keep the other leg bent and dropped out to the side, okay, bent at the knee, so the sole of your foot is on the side of your thigh or your knee, and take your hands above your head and stretch them out. And this is called lying tree pose, and it's a really comfortable. Now you can feel the stretch here. You should feel it in your arms, in your upper back, okay, in your leg. If your leg is stretched out, my left leg stretched out, then I can feel it in that, and I can just feel a gentle pull on the inner thigh of the right leg. Pilates is all about stretching and strengthening and flexibility, guys. So now we're going to simply swap sides. So the bent leg goes flat out. My left leg is coming up towards my knee, so the sole of my foot is on my knee. And I'm just relaxing here. Although I'm stretching my muscles, I'm relaxing. Okay. So that's your lying tree pose. And now what we're going to do is turn over onto our tummies for just a couple of other exercises before we close the class. So I'm on my knees now, okay, and I'm just going to go into a cat-cow. So a cat is when we stretch our back up like that and you drop your head. And the cow is when the back relaxes and goes down a little bit, so you've got more curvature here in the lower back than you normally have. Okay, so we're just going to go up to be a cat and then breathe out and down into the cow. So up into the cat and down into the cow. And then up into the cat and down into the cow. We're going to do one more and then we're going to get ourselves up through a couple of exercises that we can do to bring ourselves up. So you're down into the cow, bring your back into neutral, okay, tuck your toes under and push yourself up and try and get your heels as far down flat on the floor as they can, and this is called downward dog. So we've gone from being a cat or a cow into downward dog. Now as I try to push my heels, I can really feel this in my hamstrings and my calf muscles. Okay, so I'm really pushing those, and also make sure that your shoulders are not by your ears, that they're pushed down and your shoulder blades are down. And we're just going to hold that for a couple of seconds and then just walk your hands towards your feet. Okay, so that we can bring ourselves into a standing position, and we're just going to finish off. We're going to do some roll throughs, shoulder rolls, backwards and forwards. I'm going to do a little hugging the ball. So imagine you've got a huge big beach ball in front of you and you're just hugging it, okay? And then you take your arms back. We do 2 more of those. 1 more. Okay, we're just going to walk through our feet again and start to just get your body into a relaxed position because we've almost finished our session. And then we're going to do what I call the sweep. Now I don't know how to explain this best, but you literally sweep down on the floor, bend your knees and come back up into a stretch. And then sweep down on the floor again, bend your knees and come up into a stretch. So we'll do 2 more of these. 1, 2. And then as you come up, bring your hands together and bring them down. And as they would say in some countries, namaste. So thank you very much guys for watching. Keep it up. You can do these sessions anytime. You've got them recorded. If you would like to come on to some live sessions, then I'm contemplating doing some live sessions, just 30-minute sessions a couple of times a week. Let me know and have a great day. Thanks. Bye-bye.